I'm resident of Culver for YouTube. Joel Sains. That is my buddy Alan Gallant. That's my buddy Daniel Culver. That's my buddy Patrick McCray. We're here to review the movie Some Like It Hot. Billy Wilder, genius, pure fucking genius. Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis are here. What a team up. Okay, out of the dynamic duels, because Jack Lemmon has teamed up with a lot of people throughout his career. Walter Matthau. Where do you put Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon as a duo?
Very good.
Yeah, this movie is just a classic team up. There's no doubt about that. They play very well off each other. In this case, Tony Curtis is playing it, is sort of matching the uptight of Jack Lemmon, only in his own style.
Yep.
Rather than trying to play it cool.
It's interesting. Very few are used to referring to Tony Curtis as the straight man, but in this case, he kind of is.
He kind of is, yeah.
Those scarves.
They gave him a few moments. Well, he's one of the most sought-after bisexuals in Hollywood at the time.
Bisexual, get one free.
That's right. 2 for the price of 1.
Right.
Was he actually bisexual? I didn't know he was bisexual.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. When he was an older man, he even wore a wig that screamed bisexual. But when he was younger, he alludes to it strongly in his autobiography. That when he first came to Hollywood, there were a lot of men that were chasing after him, and many of them were quite influential and powerful. So he let them catch him.
Oh, yeah,
He doesn't directly say it in the book, but even the title kind of hints at it. The title is "There Is No Doubt I Am Bisexual."
That's true.
By Tony Curtis, and
That's
a lot of
right.
people tried to read between the lines on that.
And the pictures of bells and whistles all over the cover too.
But yeah, all you have to do is look at A, all the porn stars he dated, which is a lot, and B, this singular wardrobe. I don't know where he got this stuff other than B. Arthur's closet.
Oh, yeah, the chiffon ascots.
Wow.
Yeah, from the 70s on, he was completely I am out. I am here. Take me.
He had a daughter with more testosterone than he had.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
true. Yeah, Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon are just so good together. I also love the fact that we get literally they take a historical event like the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. They change some of the details around, but that's what it is.
Yes. Like the fact that the gangsters are not disguised as cops or anything.
Yeah. Well, I think it was two real cops from the shot, if memory serves.
Yeah, and the rest of them were in disguise. But George Raft would never dress up as a cop, I don't think.
Yeah.
He would never do that.
It's considered one of the most violent mob acts in all of Chicago. And it is. It really was.
It totally is. And it's it's not documented, but it's pretty well established that Capone had something to do with that.
Yeah, it's very well established. Two, I like how Jack Lemmon's character and Tony Curtis' character, they're there witnessing. We got to dress like women now. That idea you wanted to do, we're going to do it now because they're looking for our ass.
Mm-hmm. And if you notice too, Tony Curtis is really good in heels, and Jack Lemmon is not.
Yeah,
he's just it hurts and everything. He's complaining about it all the time. And Tony Curtis is running in heels by the end of the first act. Obviously, they have to set up the conceit that these guys are running around in drag, which this is 1959. And America wouldn't have been so big on drag except for Uncle Milty, which was Milton Berle, who was on the what's it called, the Texaco Theater or whatever it was, the weekly show that he hosted back in the 50s. He dressed in drag all the time.
Yeah.
So he was always he was Uncle Milty and then he was Aunt Tilly. It was just, and it was done for gag. It was done for laughs, the same as it's done in this movie. So the American audiences accepted it pretty well.
They're part of a band of women. Yeah.
Foxes in the hen house, so to speak.
Yeah. The head lady on this, she's like, and no men. And I'm like, what?
Sweet Sue. Sweet Sue.
When did you guys first see this movie, Patrick?
I saw this movie around 1986, and it was at the Globe. It was a matinee, and I had heard about it, and it certainly had a provocative kind of title. And I don't know. I don't even know if I was going there. I think I might have just been going to the drugstore next door, the Woolworths or something. And a friend of my mother's, who was a woman who liked to hug me a little too much and talk about what a handsome young man I had turned into.
Those kind, yes.
Yeah. But it was scary.
Yeah.
She saw she was in line to the movie and saw I was passing by, and so demanded I go see it with her. And so I did. Nothing else happened along those lines, except that we both saw an incredibly funny movie.
Right.
It was so funny that the threat of some sort of bizarre sexual assault could not dampen the
humor,
the mood I was in. Yeah, it overcame that, and so I really enjoyed it, and it was one of those early cases, and it happened twice with Billy Wilder. The other time being a Sunset Boulevard, that I said, now I know why classics are called classics, because they're really good. Not just things that we are told are good, and we have to kind of be reverent about. Something like that earns its keep every time.
Oh yeah, it's timeless. It's classic. Yeah. It's wonderful too. I mean, the whole claustrophobia of the train, which works. It works for the humor because everybody's like brushing up against each other.
Sure, the worst possible situation for poor Jack Lemmon to be.
It's the '50s way of saying here they're grabbing each other's ass. It's kind of like that. And it makes it really funny, whereas claustrophobia can also be rather harrowing, depending on how it's handled. But the close quarters and all that wonderful stuff. It's great.
Yeah. When did you first see this, Alan?
In the early '70s on television. I can't tell you exactly when I saw it, but I think it was pre-teen, so it would have been before 1973.
Yeah. I saw this 2002. Very good. I saw this late. Daniel, when did you first see this?
Oh, I saw this today.
Cool.
That's great. What did you think?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Billy Waters, he's fucking genius. Marilyn Monroe, I mean, what an actress. She's really talented, obviously beautiful. What did you guys think of her chemistry with Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon?
It was great because they were having at each other at the time. They were actually having an affair. It actually, according to Curtis, it ended with them confessing it to Arthur Miller, and she was pregnant. And so I guess she decided she was ostensibly she was going to keep the baby, but she had miscarriages, as she typically did. Although I sometimes think that that's euphemism for abortions. And in those times, of course, abortions were totally illegal. And if you went to somebody to have one done, you had to protect them as well as yourself.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
But anyway, the pregnancy didn't come to term, whichever way that happened. But yeah, they were having an affair, which it kind of goes against the story about how he was asked by a reporter what it was like to kiss her, and he said it was like kissing Hitler. But later he explained it was because he thought it was the stupidest question he'd ever heard. Like, what's it like to kiss Marilyn Monroe? How am I supposed to describe this? Okay, I'll describe it. It was like kissing Hitler, like that. So he didn't mean that she actually was a terrible kisser. He was just trying to throw this guy off. apparently. But yeah, their chemistry was real. There's no doubt about that. Lemon, on the other hand, well, even Curtis bemoaned in later years how she was lovely on one level, but on another level, she was impossible. She was always late. She was insecure. She would make demands. Various things were going on, and of course, she also had various, pill and alcohol addictions that were going on throughout most of her adult life. So she was difficult, and Lemon, he just kept his mouth shut about it because anytime he was asked, it was like, and that was it. But later in life, Tony would say she was hard. It was difficult to work with her. But she gives great chemistry here, and she's also this is her at her sort of naive, vulnerable best. One of the roles where she's very much like that, and that was the role that she was kind of pushed into an awful lot. Even though she had done an earlier role where she played this psychopathic babysitter, I forget the film. But early in her career, like in 1949 or something, and she was playing a villainess, and it was really good. I'll have to go back and see if I can find out which movie that was. But then immediately she did Scudda-Hoo, Scudda-Hay, or one of those kind of movies, and her they pigeonholed her after that as the sort of blonde bombshell, a little bit smart, a little bit ditzy, this kind of thing, and she was never able to completely break out of that role because that was her moneymaker, basically. And it was difficult, although she went through the motions of being well-read, and she studied with the Strasbergs, the method, which actually made things more difficult on set, especially after Paula started showing up, Paula Strasberg, Lee Strasberg's wife. And so in spite of her on-screen presence, she was a much more complicated, much more difficult person in real life.
And let's see.
But she and Curtis definitely had chemistry. I mean, it was real.
Oh, that's true.
Real. Yeah.
And you guys already might know this. I'm not even sure if I should say this, but there's a rumor that she had a relationship with John F. Kennedy too.
Both Kennedy brothers. There's been no absolute proof of it, but people that were there at the time have corroborated that. So I would not be doubting that it might be true. I don't know if it was an affair or a couple of times fling. You don't know the degree of it or anything else. There's also the whole thing with her death, and that maybe it was because she was seeing Bobby and she knew too much or something like that. I don't think that was true. I think she took too much Nemutols and died in bed. But people still insist that that might have been a conspiracy of some kind.
Well, that's the thing too. Like every time a celebrity commits suicide or something, they always say, "Oh no, they were murdered."
Yeah. See, I don't think she committed suicide. I think it was an accident.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I really don't think so. Although she certainly had mental illness history in her background. Her mother was in a sanatorium, and she was afraid that was going to happen to her. And I think it did at one point. She'd had at least one nervous breakdown during her career, where she took a rest cure as well. She had a hard time. She was not treated well by the men in her life either, for the most part.
Oh yeah, that's I don't know if you ever heard the song "Candle in the Wind." The original by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's John. About her. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That was about Elton John when he was a little boy, because he saw her in all these films when he was a little guy. Because he was born in the 40s, so he would have seen her films when he was like 10, 12, 14 years old.
Oh, that's true.
Is it Dangerous Years, Alan? The movie?
Maybe.
A young counselor is killed by the leader of a teen gang during a warehouse robbery.
No, no, that doesn't sound familiar. Hold on a second. You mean the Marilyn Monroe movie where she was a?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think that was it. But maybe. Let me look at her filmography again. Yeah. Forrest Gump. Maybe it was. Maybe it was actually. It may have been. Yes.
Okay.
Evie. No, that's her. She's Evie the waitress in The Dangerous Years.
Okay.
So wait a minute. Maybe it was after Scudda Who, Scudda Hay. Let's see. Yeah, she was in Asphalt Jungle too, which is a fantastic film. It was decried at the time because of its sort of gritty, frankness and grittiness, and you're talking about a film that was made in the 50s where every turd was polished, literally. I mean, it was just like everything's great, and of course it was.
Oh, is it All About Eve?
All About Eve? No, she does kind of she plays a rival in that, but she's not like a total villainess or anything like that. But she's ambitious. And she's the younger, the younger rival kind of thing. So she's not exactly the nicest person in the world, but she's not a total villainess in that either. Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is now. It may be that first one that she was in, but she portrayed a couple of not standard for her roles early in her career, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easier to break a young actress into like a semi-horror role.
Well, now it is. I think it's probably since the 1970s.
Yeah.
That genre has really come to the forefront. It was more of there was a lot of that in the 50s, but it was science fiction, horror, and it was B-movie stuff. A lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it. And a lot of those actresses never made the A-list because of it. A few of them did. Like, for instance, there were some really well-made ones, like The Day the Earth Stood Still, which had some A-list actors in it. So, there certainly was that type of thing. But the horror movies, I mean, like Michael Landon started his career. I Was a Teenage Werewolf. It was a drive-in movie basically. And I want to think, was it? Oh God, Steve McQueen. Was it McQueen that was in The Blob?
Yeah.
See, that again, that's a start out role for him, and The Blob is a B movie. It's a classic, but it's a drive-in type movie.
Yes, Julie. Patrick is okay. Patrick's there.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine.
He's on nappy time.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Long days.
Long
days, baby.
Aw, poor Patrick.
Long days.
If I was there, I'd give him a blanket and take his glasses off and turn the light out and say, "Night night, Patrick," as I pat him on the head. Like I do to Jules.
Oh my God. But yeah, this movie.
What? Okay, girl. You know
this movie. Let's see. Where was that? The filming was made in the film was made in California during the summer and autumn in 1958.
58, yeah.
AFI reported the production dates between early August, November 12 of 1958, and Samuel Golden Studios. Many scenes were shot at the Hotel del Coronado in Coronado, California, which appeared as the Seminole Ritz Hotel in Miami. So none of this was shot in Miami.
No, it was a stand-in for Miami, and it worked out very nicely. I thought that they did a good job of sort of portraying that as Miami.
Yeah, I think they did it smart too by shooting the water.
Yep.
Making
Absolutely.
it sort of look like this is the Atlantic, and you ain't gonna tell them what the difference either.
Yep.
Billy Wilder knew what he was doing when he shot.
Oh my God!
All the time, just like I'm gonna make this look like Miami. God damn it!
Yes,
California, it's palm trees.
Yeah.
We're good. We can do this. And God damn it, he did.
He did.
Just the scenes at the hotel too. The man who's like trying to court Jack Lemmon's character,
Mhm.
and the dance scene they have together with the changing of the rose, and in the mouth, and that line at the end. He's had enough. He takes off. I'm a man. Well, no one's perfect.
Yeah, it's a great tagline, and that's Joey Brown, who was a superstar comedian in the 1930s. He's an older man in this movie. Obviously, it's 59. It's probably 25 or 30 years after his peak. But he'd been making films and doing television ever since. He was well known. He was a rubber face. He could make his face do all this rubbery kind of stuff. You could kind of see it in the way he smiles and everything in this movie. But he's perfect because he's wealthy, but he just isn't that attractive, and he's too old, and so it's funny. It's and doubly funny when you've got this guy in drag being chased around. It works really well with a couple of people that are really good at comic timing, and sort of double takes and responses and saying crazy stuff, but saying it completely like it's the most logical thing ever. To be able to do that, he does. There's an interesting thing that I noticed about this. The Tony Curtis's career arc was he did two big films in the years before this one, Sweet Smell of Success and The Defiant Ones, both of which were really, really highly rated films as well. But they're dramas.
Yep.
And then he goes in and he does Some Like It Hot in Operation Petticoat.
Yep.
Bang, 1959. And then he does a couple of other films, and then he goes right back into doing drama with Spartacus.
Yep.
So he was pretty versatile, and he could move freely.
And anytime I know when people think of Jamie Lee Curtis, they think of her mother. I often think of Tony Curtis because I see
as her mother.
As well, sometimes he probably was.
Well, anytime I think of Jamie Lee Curtis, I do think of Tony because I see a lot of Jamie Lee when I watch Tony.
Sure. But Jamie Lee has her face is shaped like her mother.
Yeah.
So that's why I think not only that, but of course she's female too. So you think of her mother a lot of times. Yeah, there was a rumor that she was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've heard that too.
She's good.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's true.
No, I don't think it's true.
Unfortunately,
I love the answer that Gaga gave when asking. She said, why should anybody care whether or not I have a penis? My fans don't care, and neither do I.
Oh yeah, to be clear,
the whole thing is fascinating.
Oh yeah, well, to be clear, I giggled at Patrick saying that, because I wasn't expecting. For anyone that's listening, I have nothing against intersex people,
Yeah. I mean,
well, I don't know if here, Daniel. I don't know if you're against intersex people. We can't see. You don't have your camera on. You could be against some now.
You could be against somebody that's intersex, I suppose. Yes.
I meant the other kind against you.
Oh my God.
But anyway, he's Curtis and Lemon are both in the midst of comedic roles at this point in their career, and this is a perfect sort of buddy film, and they're both really good at giving and taking, which is one of the things that makes it such a great film.
I think Jamie Lee showed how versatile she was, just like her father showed how versatile he could.
Oh yeah, she did tons of comedies. Fish Called Wanda and all that. Yeah.
Trading Places.
Yeah.
Trading Places.
Significant moment of of 1983.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sweet Smell of Success is a hell of a performance by Tony Curtis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How sweet does it smell?
It actually doesn't smell very good at
No.
all. Once you
Him,
get into the film, you realize it doesn't.
him and Burt Lancaster just they're like ruthless in that movie.
Yes. Well, this was the same era that what Andy Griffith made his famous attack on populism.
Yeah.
What the hell's the name of
The
that?
Face in
Andy
the
Griffith
Face
Show.
in the Crowd.
Ace in the Crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is the same era in which that
Yeah.
film was also.
But I mean, you want to see people who you're used to maybe seeing play the good guy or play a character that you root for.
Mm-hmm.
Then they turn around and play a villain because you're
Right.
curious. Okay, can they? And then the answer is yes.
They
It's
did.
like Ben Kingsley doing Betrayal and then doing Gandhi.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because the rule is, I apply the wrestling rule to the acting rule is the bigger the baby face, the bigger the heel, or the bigger the heel, the bigger the baby face. You're going to have that effect more often than not. So
Kingsley's always been able to play both sides of the coin. He's done really well on both ends of that. I thought he was the best thing about Iron Man 3. I mean, he was totally
he's good.
the best thing about that movie.
Yeah.
Some of the rest of it was a little outlandish, but it was fun. The first of those movies is always the best in my mind, anyway. I enjoyed the first one, obviously, but the third one isn't terrible. It's just that he's just great. The whole concept of this guy who talks like he's from God knows where, because he's just decided to adopt this cadence. And he's really from Liverpool or someplace.
Yeah.
And all he wants to do is drink beer and hang out with half-naked women and watch football games. It's great. It's great. Up to that point, you think he is the menace, though, because he is very menacing. He's clearly he in spite of his peccadillos and his flaws, he's a pretty good character actor. The character himself.
Yeah. He's good. What is it? He's good in Lucky Number 7 too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He is so unrelentingly evil in that.
Yes.
Movie. And such a bully and everything else. I mean,
Morgan Freeman too. Both of them are good. Really good.
I had forgotten about Lucky 7.
His most cerebral approach to villainy, I think, is in Thunderbirds as the Hood. Boy, I'll tell you, did you see that movie?
No, I have not seen it.
It was terrible. It was terrible. It made puppets look substantive.
Oh God!
Wow. Is it Dragon Ball Evolution bad?
So it was a live action version of Thunderbirds?
Yeah, which I so far have no problem with.
Until you saw the
wasn't done very well.
Oh my God.
Oh yes. Yes.
Beautiful movie.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a disaster. Yeah.
It had very unique, appropriate production design that carried an Atom Age sensibility into the present very well. It was basically the way we would view the future if we had never made Blade Runner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which would be through the lens of somebody that grew up in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Yes, but it has a very modern sensibility, a very Johnny Ive sensibility to design and technology.
All right. Cool.
Patrick, what did you think of California being used as Miami? Really good.
It was fine. I mean, palm trees.
It did not distract.
No. And the Hotel del Coronado is perfect for that kind of thing.
Yeah, because it looks like a lot of those beachfront hotels.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
In Miami, the older ones.
I think too, what really helps is how Billy Wilder shoots this, and how the cast keep moving and having to move, because again, you have characters who are mostly women, and you have two men amongst the women.
Well, that's one of the premises of this whole thing. You do have scenes where they're kind of stationary, but even in the stationary scenes, there's energy being expended at an unreal rate. But then there are a lot of scenes where they're being chased or they're trying to sneak around or whatever it is they're doing. And so you're right, there's a lot of movement. It's either physically happening or it's an implied thing through the energy that they're doing.
Yeah, if they're not playing an instrument, they're either sitting there talking, expending some energy, having a conversation, or they're doing something by getting up and walking around, carrying the luggage scene is really good because here's Tony Curtis. He's like, "Oh, here, take this."
Yeah.
He walks.
Yeah, and even in the conversational scenes, especially when there's the real women around, there's sexual tension in it, so that energy is like all over the place.
Yeah, I got that wrong. Sorry, it was Jack Lemmon.
Yeah, Jack Lemmon. Yeah, because his energy was like, look, a squirrel. It's that kind of thing, and it works, of course, because he can't control himself fully, being around all of these attractive women and trying not to, pop one through his dress. And at the same time, he just keeps reminding himself, I'm a girl, this kind of thing. Which sort of becomes his psychosis when he gets engaged to Joe Brown's character. It's like he can't snap out of it for a while, which is also pretty hilarious.
The mob in this movie. So,
yeah,
it's like these guys. It's like they don't want killed. They dress up as women. It's like I can't blame them. They got out of Dodge. You're right. Tony Curtis does a really good job, and you watch him walk to the train. How he's balancing himself really well on high.
Oh yeah, he knows how to walk on heels, man.
Yeah. Jack Lemmon. What helps too is Jack Lemmon's struggle with all that.
Right. And I think probably some of that was acting, and some of it was Lemmon didn't run around in heels in his private life, and I think Tony might have done so on occasion.
Here's one for you guys, Alan. Have you ever had to wear women's stockings for a play?
I've had to wear heels and stockings for a play. I did it in high school. I played an old lady in high school in a production. That's the only time that I've ever done drag. But it was fun. It was fine. It was challenging. At the time, I wasn't any bigger than this, and I could fit into my mother's dresses. So she gave me an old lady dress to wear that she had made for some July 4th thing or something like that. So it was kind of dowdy looking in a gray wig and heels, and they weren't spike heels, obviously, old woman, but they were clog heels, probably 2.5 inches or whatever. Had to learn how to walk in them.
I had to,
and wearing, absolutely had to wear stockings. I wore opaque tights is actually what I ended up wearing because I didn't want to shave my legs.
I had to wear my mother's stockings to play an elf. Like, I had to dance around in these things. And
to make matters worse, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm a kid. I'm a little kid. I'm like, what am I doing at my mother's stocking playing an elf?
Yeah, I'm not Royal Order of the Garter, though. I never wore those kind of stockings.
Hey, you guys want to know a fun fact about high heels?
Sure.
Yes.
Believe it or not. Oh, yeah. Well, believe it or not, they were actually invented for men.
Well, they did. Men wore them in the the 1600s, 1700s, and that Restoration era in England and so on. Yeah, you see guys with the buckled shoes, but they have like heels on them this big. Of course, we did that in the 70s too. We had high heel sneakers, and high heel shoes.
That makes sense
for men. So that was a much briefer interlude, though. I think they wore them for decades back in the 17th century, but they wore them for like half a decade in the 70s.
Yeah,
that makes sense, because I know like in the 80s that in the 80s a lot of bands were wearing some feminine stuff too,
Oh yeah, I mean that was part and parcel to the new wave stuff and the way that rockers were dressing at the time, rock and roll or something. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What's some of you guys' favorite scenes in this movie, Daniel?
I'm actually gonna go with like when they have a party and I think it's Joseph's bunk bed. You know.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of the classic scenes in the movie.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely because it gets out of control. It's just like
Yeah.
it starts with the two of them and ends up with every woman on the deck,
Sure.
sitting there smoking and drinking, stealing ice, doing everything else, and getting away with it essentially for the most part. So
That's the thing too. When you watch Prom Night and they're doing that scene on the train where you see the bunks, I think that's a sort of a tribute to Some Like It Hot in a way.
somebody probably saw that movie.
Yeah, they probably saw
it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
A little inspiration, maybe.
Yeah. Patrick, what's some of your favorite scenes, man?
I always have to say all of them. This is a movie I teach, so I'm really familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I having said that, I think any of the Cary Grant stuff really stands out, and any of the Joey Brown scenes really, really, really. God, he's so good.
Yes,
he's Oswald.
Fabulous.
Alan?
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that work, and I'll also go with the idiotic escape from the mobsters stuff, where they have the fake birthday party and all this ridiculousness, and it's really kind of dumb. And we've got various semi-famous and famous people in the mob. And so that was kind of fun. And at that point in the movie, it also reinvigorates the idea that these guys are on the run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But also that party scene. I mean, I'm like Patrick. Almost every scene in this movie could be a favorite scene for me.
What do you think of the bellhop?
Oh, with the high heels and everything else? Yeah.
Hey, doll.
Yeah.
With the bow tie.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, Billy Wilder does not waste any footage ever in his movies.
No, he's a master. I mean, he did a lot of different genres too in his career. I mean, he was really good. From what I understand, he was pretty efficient too. He didn't mess around too much.
And you followed what Herr Wilder told you to do.
Mm-hmm.
There was no doubt about that.
Yeah.
That's why Cagney quit the business for decades. I think
that last movie that he made. Yeah, what was it? Was the one about Coca-Cola or whatever?
We've done a thing on it. It's one of my favorite movies. I think it's Wilder's most underrated film. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I actually like that movie. Seen it a couple of times, but apparently, it's wild.
They really locked horns, which makes me wonder. I think I talked about this on the 1, 2, 3 podcast. What must it have been like when Billy Wilder directed Klaus Kinski?
My God! I'm sure there were attempts made on people's lives.
Maybe. I mean, I think Kinski is largely a coward.
Well, maybe that
may
be true. Maybe he responded to the Teutonic sternness.
So yes, I think there probably was no problem.
Yeah, maybe not. Although with Herzog, he's always, because Herzog's a different personality. He's German, but he's a different personality than Wilder was. Wilder would dress people down. He really was a very efficient director, but he wasn't everybody's cup of tea, as most directors of that era were not. I mean, you had some of them that were women's directors.
Mr. Cukor.
Code for being gay and non-threatening, and very good at getting great performances out of women, which is one of the reasons Cukor did not last the entirety of Gone with the Wind, because Gable wasn't having any of that. He wasn't having somebody just fawning over the women and ignoring him, because he already had enough insecurities about it. He wouldn't do an accent. Knew he couldn't do one that would basically satisfy the Southern audience that was going to be seeing this. So he didn't do that, and there were other things. I guess he turned it down a couple of times before they finally convinced him to take it too, because he was afraid. He was afraid it wasn't him. It wasn't.
He wanted to play the Hattie
role.
McDaniel part, and they wouldn't give it to him, and so he was holding out.
Well, that's if Hattie had just said, "I'll do the Gable part,"
He is so good. God, Hattie McDaniel's amazing.
She was indeed an amazing actress.
The scenes I love the most, other than the character scenes we get, you guys touch upon the fact that Tony Curtis dresses like who is the actor I'm thinking of? Patrick just said about it, but he plays with him. He stars with him in
Cary Grant.
Yeah, Cary Grant.
Yeah, he does the Cary Grant.
It's so
hilarious.
good and criminally underrated. The fact that you can act like another actor within a film is genius, and I definitely love Jack Lemmon, all his mannerisms. Where, but the dance scene between him and the man, it's so well done. You got all these other people around you, and my favorite thing is Billy Wilder shooting the water, because to me, you could say, well, that could be anywhere, and I love that idea. Okay, this is Florida. This looks like Florida. We shoot a dock scene. It looks like Florida. They did it. He was so smart in how he films things.
Well, I mean, he had good scenographers too. I mean, people that would make it look the way it needed to look and light it the way it needed to be lit.
Yeah,
in order to give you that sort of semi-tropical, rather than the desert of Southern California.
My favorite Billy Wilder fact was Tom Cruise wanted him to play his mentor in a little movie called Jerry Maguire.
Oh, no.
And Billy Wilder's like, I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not doing it. Oh, shit. That's good. Oh shit! Because that's who Tom Cruise wanted. They said, "Who you want to play mentor?" He said, "Billy Wilder."
Yeah, Wilder probably took one look at his freaking Scientology resume and said, "No way, I'm not getting involved with that."
So, just he said, "No, not me. You're not getting me in front of that camera. No." But yeah. So. This movie's a 10. I mean,
it's cement the knobs on 10 and leave them there forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, super glue for you. Make sure they don't come down. It's a classic movie. It's of its time, but it's timeless at the same time. It
is evergreen in that sense. I never get tired of watching it.
It's brilliantly shot in black and white. It belongs in black and white. That's what it was.
It helps you take it seriously.
Yeah.
It's movie it's another Billy Wilder movie you could watch and literally you appreciate this movie because it literally it's timeless. It's that fucking good.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie 8 times. It's fucking beautiful.
I've probably seen it 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, they used to play it a lot on TCMs.
I can see that,
Yeah.
You could get, but guys, is there anything you want to add before we go?
No, these guys were great together.
I agree.
And both had great careers for good reason. So, I think Lemon and Matthau became a classic duo as well for different reasons, different chemistry, but strong chemistry nonetheless.
And if you just want to talk about raw yucks, Jack Lemmon and Christopher Lee in Airport 77.
Oh my God!
Now that's funny.
Just the thought of that is funny, much less the actual execution.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Nothing tomorrow, guys. My daughter is celebrating her 16th birthday. So,
cool.
What do you guys want to do Monday? Anything?
I can tell you.
Okay.
I would like to mire us in another TV series briefly, if I can.
Sure.
Find and watch the pilot to Happen Leonard. I've talked about this movie or this TV show before. Jewel, you would love it. Alan, you too. Daniel, you would love it too. It's really really, really hardcore. It's
Yeah.
it's something else, but it's very funny also. And the reviews were terrific. It was critics' darling. It's gritty as hell, but not. And it's anchored by two or three unbelievable performances. They did 3 seasons. Each one was only about 10 episodes. Uh, it is Archive 81 quality or better.
Cool. At some point, we should probably look at the pilot of Heil Honey, I'm Home.
Oh, Heil Honey, Heil
Possibly
Honey, Heil
the
Honey,
worst
Heil
because of the
Honey.
subject matter, of course. The
Yeah.
worst sitcom pilot ever made.
It's an astounding moment in history.
It
Yeah.
is.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not that long ago. It's 1990.
Oh yeah, I know what you're
Yes.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, Heil Honey, I'm Home.
Jules, you know
But,
about Heil Honey, I'm Home?
No.
Oh,
Not since the day
God.
the clown
It's a
cried.
British television show.
No.
And it's about like if Hitler were your upstairs neighbor. It's just awful.
It's
Yeah,
the honeymooners
Yeah.
meets the Sorrow and the Pity.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone listening, they're not joking. This actually
honeymooners meet the bunker.
Yeah. I believe it, man. They show some crazy shit on TV.
That one, that one made it through the first episode, and that was the end of it.
Oh yeah,
That
which
was
is understandable. You know.
Yeah.
I guess.
So, we want to, for Hap and Leonard, we want to look at the episode 1. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, season 1, episode 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
1.
So I'll see you guys Monday.
Okay.
You guys have a safe weekend.
Indeed.
Take care, guys.
Sniff wisely.
Happy weekends.
Yep.
Bye.
And record.